Samyutta Nikāya, the Connected Discourses, Salayatana Samyutta, Chitta Vagga, Dutiyakāmabhū Sutta, Kāmabhū, Part 2. At one time, the Venerable Kāmabhū was living in the Ambataka wild mango grove in the Machikāsanda province, when the householder Chitta approached the Venerable Kāmabhū, and after paying his respect, he sat down to one side. Then the householder Chitta, while seated at one side, said to the Venerable Kāmabhū, "Bhante, how many sankharas, or activation processes, or volitional actions, are there?" "Householder, of these there are three, which are the bodily sankharas, the verbal sankharas, and the mental sankharas." "Sadhu, Bhante," replied Chitta in delighted agreement, as he continued on. "But what, Bhante, are the bodily sankharas? What are the verbal sankharas? And what are the mental sankharas?" "Householder, the in and out breathing are the bodily sankharas. Thinking and pondering are the verbal sankharas, while perceptions and feelings are the mental sankharas." "Sadhu, Bhante," replied Chitta, as he approved with delight, while continuing on. "But why, Bhante, are the in and out breathing considered to be bodily sankharas? Why are thinking and pondering considered to be verbal sankharas? And why are perceiving and feelings considered to be mental sankharas?" "Householder, the in and out breathing take place because of the presence of a body. They are bound with and to the body. Therefore, the in and out breathing are considered to be the bodily sankharas. Further, householder, prior to speaking, someone first thinks and ponders subvocally, and only after having done so, one breaks into words. Therefore, thinking and pondering are verbal sankharas. Meanwhile, perceiving and feeling are both mental processes, and are bound with and to the mind. Therefore, perceptions and feelings are mental sankharas." "Sadhu, Bhante," replied Chitta, delighting in the response given by the Venerable Kāmabhū, as he continued. "But how, Bhante, is the cessation of perceptions and feelings attained?" "Householder, it does not occur in a way that the Bhikkhu, who attains to the cessation of perceptions and feelings, that he would reflect to himself thus: 'I am about to attain the cessation of perceptions and feelings,' or 'I am now attaining to the cessation of perceptions and feelings,' nor 'I have just attained the cessation of perceptions and feelings.' Rather, his mind has already been developed in such a manner that it naturally unfolds into and opens up to that state." "Sadhu, Bhante," replied Chitta in delighted agreement, as he continued on. "But, Bhante, as the Bhikkhu is attaining to the cessation of perceptions and feelings, what ceases first, the bodily sankharas, the verbal sankharas, or the mental sankharas?" "Householder, as the Bhikkhu is attaining to the cessation of perceptions and feelings, the verbal sankharas are the ones to cease first, then the bodily sankharas, and then finally the mental sankharas are the ones to cease last." Sadhu Bhante, replied Chitta, as he approved with delight, while asking further, Bhante, is there a difference between a dead person and the bhikkhu who has attained to the cessation of perceptions and feelings? Householder, in the case of a dead person who has come to the end of life, the bodily sankharas have ceased completely and are all subsided. The verbal sankharas have also ceased completely and are all subsided. The mental sankharas have also ceased completely and are now subsided. The living vitality has been exhausted by coming to a halt, and the vital heat necessary for life to occur has been extinguished, and the mental faculties have all dispersed. However, householder, in the case of the bhikkhu who has attained to the cessation of perceptions and feelings, the bodily sankharas have ceased completely and are all subsided. The verbal sankharas have also ceased completely and are all subsided. The mental sankharas have also ceased completely and are now subsided. But the living vitality has not been exhausted nor come to a halt, and the vital heat necessary for life to occur has not been extinguished. And the mental faculties, in fact, are now much clearer and refreshed. This is the difference, householder, between a dead person and of one attained to the cessation of perceptions and feelings. Sadhu, sadhu, Bhante, replied Chitta, delighting in the response given by the Venerable Kāmabhū, while continuing to ask further. And how, Bhante, does one emerge from the state of cessation of perceptions and feelings? Here, householder, in coming out of the cessation of perceptions and feelings, it does not happen in a way where the bhikkhu would reflect to himself, I am about to emerge from the cessation of perceptions and feelings, or I am now emerging from the cessation of perceptions and feelings, nor I have just emerged from the cessation of perceptions and feelings. Rather, his mind has already been developed in such a manner that it naturally unfolds into and opens up to that state. Sadhu, Bhante, replied Chitta in delighted agreement, as he asked further. But, Bhante, as the bhikkhu is coming out of the cessation of perceptions and feelings, what arises first, the bodily sankharas, the verbal sankharas, or the mental sankharas? Householder, as the bhikkhu is emerging from the cessation of perceptions and feelings, the mental sankharas are the ones to arise first, then the bodily sankharas, and then the verbal sankharas are the ones to arise last. Sadhu, Bhante, replied Chitta, as he approved with delight, while continuing. Bhante, what are the types of contact that touch the bhikkhu who emerges from the cessation of perceptions and feelings? Householder, there are 3 types of contact that touch the bhikkhu who emerges from the cessation of perceptions and feelings. These are the perception of emptiness, the perception of the signless, and the perception of the undirected, which touch the bhikkhu who emerges from the cessation of perceptions and feelings. Sadhu, sadhu, Bhante, exclaimed the householder Chitta, being delighted with the Venerable Kāmabhū's response, as he continued. Bhante, in what direction does the mind of the bhikkhu incline and lean towards as he emerges from the cessation of perceptions and feelings? Householder, the mind of the bhikkhu who emerges from the cessation of perceptions and feelings naturally inclines towards seclusion, leans towards seclusion, and slopes into seclusion. Sadhu, sadhu, Bhante, said Chitta, the householder, in joyful agreement, as he continued. And what, Bhante, are the conditions that are of the utmost importance to the attainment of the cessation of perceptions and feelings? Now, householder, you're asking at the very end the question that you should have asked first. Nevertheless, I will explain it to you. Householder, 2 are the conditions that are of the utmost importance to the attainment of the cessation of perceptions and feelings. These are stability of mind and penetrative insight. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.